Here we go again. Pete the Builder. It is 4:35 on my way home. Hopefully, no more road rage, man. That was crazy that day. I was doing the exact same thing I'm doing right now, going home. And then that happened. That was wild. But, you know, things like that happen. Look at this guy. Can't even wear here on the right. Can't even wear. I was ahead of him. He came around me and got in there just to be one car ahead. It is what it is, man. It's like people are, a lot of these people, like right now is just a traffic jam. But a lot of these people that work here in the Bay Area, a lot of them commute from other places. They used to live here, and so they move out, they buy homes or you know, whatever the case may be, and they get out of here. They move out of the Bay Area, and they commute to work. You know, some live in, you know, an hour away, an hour and a half away, but with this traffic, it takes them like 2 hours to get home. So, like for example, right here, this is San Jose, right? And so there's people that live in like I work with a few people that live in Los Baños, and that's about 80 miles, more or less about an hour and 15 minutes with no traffic at all, right? About an hour and 15, an hour and 20 minutes with no traffic. They live, you know, that far. But with traffic, they're looking at about 2 hours, more or less. So it kind of, you know, a lot of these people are in a rush to get home because they live so far away. And to me, that's fucking crazy. Like, I understand, you know, like everybody, you know, everybody wants to own their own house, but at what cost? I mean, how much do you want to sacrifice, right? You know, do you want to, you know, buy a home, say for example, out there, because it's still affordable to buy a home out there. You know, out there you're looking at about 450,000, 450 to 500,000. You know, you might be able to find one for $400,000 for a house out there in Los Baños, and but yeah, you're commuting in the morning about an hour in 20 minutes in the morning, and then right now you're looking at about 2 hours commute. Not just that, but the time that you're at work. So for example, if I were to buy something out there, right, I would have to, like today I started at, you know, I started at 6 a.m. So I would have to leave the house at let's see here, 4:30. I would have to leave the house at 4:30 in the morning and just pray that there's no accidents, or there's no, you know, there's no pileups or no traffic, or you just, you know, hopefully it's a smooth commute. So I would have to leave at 4:30 in the morning to make it here by 6 in the morning. And then if I get off at anywhere, if I get off from 3:30 p.m. in between 3:30 p.m. and let's see here, 5, I'm easily doing easy an hour and a half minimum an hour and a half just to get there. And so that, you know, you're just away from your home for a very, very, very long time every day. And I'm not willing to do that. I'm not willing to sacrifice, you know, that time just to say that I'm buying a house. You know, especially when you got kids that are little. You know, when you got kids that are, you know, 4, 5, 6, 7, all the way up, you know, even all the way up to like, you know, even up to like 17, you know, 18 years old. Any kid, any children that you have that still live with you, you're gonna be away from them. You know, so how long are you gonna do that? How long are you gonna be away from them? And that's just time that you don't get back. You don't get back any of that time. You know, you don't get back, and even you know, your wife, you know, or your husband or whoever, you're away from them all that time. And like I said, man, I'm not willing to do that. It's too, you know, some people, you know, even coworkers here tell me like, oh man, it's just a sacrifice, you know. You just have to sacrifice, you know, like how much do you want to sacrifice? Was like, yeah, I wanna my own house. I want to buy a house, but man, I'm really not willing to sacrifice that. You know, I'm not willing to sacrifice that much of their time, because at the end of the day, it's their time, you know. Whether you're home, you know, whether you're in your home or you're with your family out doing something, it doesn't matter. That's time that you're away from them. And that's every day, 365 days, if you do work, you know, besides the holidays. And, you know, I'm just giving an example. So I don't think it's I'm not willing to do that sacrifice. That's why we have so much traffic, because you got all these people that are commuting. You know, a lot of these guys are leaving. You know, they're going back to wherever, you know, however far they live, man. And like, you know, all these cars that are, you know, cutting each other off, and, you know, just you know, driving erratic and crazy. That's what's going on. You know, they're trying to get home. You know, one car that they cut off, if like that guy got in front of me, you know, to them, it's like, oh hell yeah, you know, that's one car less that I have to be behind. But, you know, and that's how they live, you know, every day. I mean, can you imagine waking up, man? This phone's gonna cut out. I don't have enough storage in there. But anyway, imagine waking up every day knowing that you have to travel an hour and a half, and then you're not even done. You haven't even got into your car, and you know that you have to drive another hour and a half or 2 hours to get back home, and you haven't even took off from your home. That's fucking crazy. That's insane. I can't do that. My hat goes off to these people that do commute. Fuck that. I ain't doing it. I'm good. You know? It's too much of a sacrifice. You know, and then at the end of the day, your kids are gonna grow up. They're gonna leave their home, you know, your house. They're gonna leave. They're gonna do their own thing. And what happened to that time? You know, you stayed with your house, but what good is your home when you don't have your family there? You know, what good is a home when the dad's missing or the mother's missing? Nah, man, it's not. It doesn't work like that. Time is more valuable than anything. We're only here for a short amount of time. So it is what it is. But anyway, this phone should be cutting out any minute. But that's probably all I have. I'm halfway home, so after this is going to be another maybe 12 minutes, and then I'll be home. So It says storage low, tap to manage. Well, I'll just let it run. It's all good. But anyway, yeah, too much of a sacrifice for me. I'm not willing to do it. It is what it is. I'm happy where I'm at. We do what we do, you know. I'm gonna get home right now, you know, total time, you know, right now with massive traffic, you know, it's crazy traffic. I'm only gonna do like 22 minutes max. You know, some of these guys are doing 2 hours. And then they get home and they gotta hurry up and rush and take a shower or eat, and then whatever time a little bit of time they gotta spend with the family to go to sleep, to get back up in the morning and do it all over again. You know? Nah, man, that's crazy. That's insane. I couldn't see myself. And then your body, your vehicle, I mean, your body takes a hit, a massive hit. You know? All that time just being on the road, and then like us, you know, me, we're drivers. We get to work and we're on the road, and then to get off and do it all over again, just to go home and rest for about 8 hours, and then come back and do it all over again the next. Man, that's crazy. That's just thinking about it, it gets me tired. You know, that's why, you know, I don't know, man, that's crazy. Hey, but you know, to each their own, man. I'm not trying to talk down and say that's bad. It is what it is. Everybody's gonna do what they do, and more power to them, you know. Just some people are willing to sacrifice that time, you know. But, you know, it is what it is. It's hard though, it is. But that's just the price of, you know, that's just the price of the cost of living out here. People can't afford homes out here in the Bay Area. You know, a beat down house, tore down, you know, that needs the foundation redone, rebuilt, you know. It's gonna run you about $700,000, and we're talking about a house that needs, you know,